All right. Welcome back to Out of the Berg podcast. Got the homies Chris, Gerard, and Avery. Last week I wasn't here, but that's neither here nor there. How you guys doing?
We had to call Shamar to keep you off the show. He was coming up with too much strong light skin destruction energy. So me and Avery had to rein you back in last week. Had to call in a favor.
Jokes have gotten people in trouble these days.
Mm-hmm.
But how y'all been?
Been cool. I'm discovering more and more as the days go by that the class I'm currently in, I'm not supposed to be in it. It is definitely made for people who've already have taken master classes and then go to this class. And my dumb self was easily talked into it. There's no outline saying you should have already taken classes before you going into this one. Because the class I took last semester was for somehow or another they confused me for an environmental science major, and they started sending me the catalog for that stuff. So I signed up for an environmental science class, but they got to me said I can just use that class I took this past class I took and substitute it for whatever other class that be okay for me to transfer it for. So I'm like, okay. And then my counselor or my advisor said I could just transfer into her class. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, that works out because her class is right here. But now that I'm in it, it's becoming increasingly clear that all the instructions go, in some of your previous classes, you should know how to do this already. I'm just like, never heard of that. So I'm Googling like mad, and a lot of the stuff it doesn't even be on Google. So I'm like, I'm doing well in the class right now. I have a B in there. Well, it's only been 2 weeks, but still. I don't feel like I'm over my head, but I'm just I feel like I was set up.
It sounds like you were to some extent. I was going to say, whenever you get that first notice of you should know this and you don't, it's usually not a good sign.
There's a plot against me.
Good luck. I know you can do it. But yeah, just have an escape plan if you need to.
Oh yeah, I definitely do. I'm looking at that W every week if I have to pull that out, just in case. I'd rather a W than an F in a master's degree.
Is it too late? I thought it was too late to.
No, I think for my program, I think as long as you get it before halfway the class is over. For us. Because for my program, it's every 7 weeks we have a course. So I just started this new course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm only in the second week of this course here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's just she'll have some type of acronym. I'm just like, what does that even mean? I've never even seen that. I'm looking at my old notes. I'm like, that's not in here. I'm looking at the book. That's not there. I'm having to Google crazy. That doesn't make sense for this. That doesn't make sense. Oh, so I'm like, wow. I've been set up. But it's okay though. I'm a thrive. I'm a strive for it. Be cool. Black power.
I was trying to get the plot. Okay.
Yeah, I said, what about y'all? Y'all ain't do nothing? I was the only one struggling this week.
It's been an interesting week. Not as bad as I think a month ago I had, but just when you do the best you can, but you have to rely on others to do their job properly. Otherwise, you're sitting there stressing out, trying to do the job and do it on time, or not on time, but get it out the door. And yeah, it's a real ish show. I don't know why I said that ish show. You just said nothing. Yeah, it
Because it's just a real mess.
Yeah, a debacle, if you will. Yeah, but it's the spring. Like they're telling us, oh, the spring season is like the most important. Or not that it's the most important, but it's I'd say the most stressful. And I was like, okay, I went through the fall season, with the kids' individual photos. How hard could this be? Nah, it's like, spring sports, dance, individual and group photos. Oh man, what else I'd begin? I don't know, man. And
Weddings?
it's just not weddings. They're mostly based around kids.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah.
Do you have senior photos and stuff? Because we're ending towards June.
Graduation. Yep.
Oh,
graduation photos.
Oh, that's right. You said dance, so definitely prom and stuff like that too. Probably.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about no, because there's only we do this one school, a private school in the area, or we do two. They're pretty big private schools, but we do all their photos. Like, bro, I'm telling you, this one school, I won't mention the name of it. It's not a bad school. It's actually pretty dope. If I was a student, it'd be pretty cool to go there. But we just legit take so many of their events, like sporting events, and it's a K through 12 school too. So you got all different age groups there, and it's something. But it's funny because you see these kids I remember in the fall I was doing their homecoming. I was working on their homecoming photos, and some of those same kids were doing was it pro day, when they choose a school, and you also see some of these kids in another sport. First they were doing track, and now they're doing basketball. They were doing cross country or football. Now they're doing basketball, and it's interesting. I haven't seen the school as often lately, but that's kind of interesting thing. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's been stressful. My boss keeps saying I get what she's saying because me, I'm an overthinker. She's like, don't overthink it, and I trust her because she's done the photography thing. She's been doing it for years, so she knows how everything operates. But for me, I'm look, I got to make sure all this stuff is in place and set before we send it out to a third party we work with, but they mess everything up too. So it's it's something. But people are cool.
No, I get what you're saying now. It does sound kind of like a mess.
Yeah. But yeah, people cool there. People are cool there. So I can appreciate that. If they weren't, I would have been Choo! But they help out in their
or a mess in waiting, I guess.
Huh?
I said I was correcting myself. Just I said, that does sound like a mess, but then I changed it to a mess in waiting. Potentially a domino effect type. One thing goes down, then we all go down.
Yeah, because everything starts with photography.
Mm-hmm.
My Cortana just activated. There we go. But yeah, so if it's messy from them, then we got to take the time to correct it and whatnot. And then, yeah, it's something. But yeah, not a bad week. Who's next?
I'm guessing Avery.
Oh, there he is.
So I'm starting to realize I need a glow lamp or something because it's all this blue light makes my face look like a horror movie. But with that said,
just get a little desk lamp or something, just right over there.
Yeah, I literally just turned on my camera. Not my camera, but the little whatever phone flashlight thing. I don't know what it's called properly. But yeah, I kind of second what Gerard's feeling. Nearing our busy season as well. We just got approved for another project, so it's really hitting recruitment. I'm going to be the main one spearheading that, so loads of fun. But other than that, yeah, pretty chill. Besides the stressfulness, I have a bearded dragon on the floor. It's getting comfortable and it's making all these little scratchy noises. That's what you're hearing.
Come out. Wait, what? You have a bearded dragon?
Yes, I have two of them. They're about a year old now. Their name is Thelma and Louise. One's fatter than the other one. They're really cool. They're kind of like dogs. They like to be with you. They like to be handled. They're a little skittish sometimes because everything's like super big and everything. They eat pretty much anything you want. They're just, they just live for a very long time. I thought when I bought them, I would only need them for 4 years. No, they live for 10. I wish I had known that. But anyway, yeah, so these little guys are stuck with me, and yeah, I wish I can get them for you, but almost kind of giving me the stink eye right now. Because they always do this little thing where they just have these like sassy little eyes or whatever. So when they turn their head and then they move their little eyes like to stare at you, it looks like they're giving you the stank face.
Yeah, because you just said it so casually. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, I just got two bearded dragons on the floor. No problem.
Yeah.
What? That's cool.
Yeah, but that's all I got. I'm trying to see if I can pull up a stink face. Yeah, because they're really sassy. I think that's why I like them.
That lizard brain.
Just about. I still want a Emperor Scorpion and a Ball Python, but there's not enough room for
that. I'm sorry, time out. I didn't hear that second one, but you said you want a Scorpion?
Yeah, an Emperor Scorpion. I just like to look at them. They're kind of cool. I'm not going to touch it because they freak me out. But, yeah, it's a little bit weird, right? Especially when I need to clean the cage. I was just thinking, like, well, maybe if I scoop it up into like a little pooper scooper or something and put them in a box, like.
Just show them a magazine with a female scorpion on it in a bikini, and then you'll lead them out. That's how
I don't even know what they're attracted to. Like, I know nothing about them, so it kind of freaks me out.
Emperor scorpions. You know that? You'd be fiending for them.
Apparently not.
They creep me out.
Wild, I be hearing, like you hear like somebody like getting like a tarantula. I'm like, oh, that's a crazy person. You want a doggone scorpion?
They're like super tiny. They don't really do anything.
No, y'all gotta watch that.
I'm not saying you crazy person, but that's wild to me.
I don't know. I think they're super funny looking. I have a thing for derpy looking animals. I don't know why, but
scorpions look derpy to me.
Yeah, they look derpy.
They look like death incarnate.
Just a little bit. Okay, here's the little sassy eyeball. Oh god, that's bad. Can you see that? Oh, nope. Sorry. Oh god, that's terrible.
Oh, like the.
It's like the little guy. When it like looks at you, like I can't believe you're doing this. I'm me mugging you. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, when they talk about bearded lizard, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't understand the beard part, but then I'm like, oh, it's a neck beard.
Yeah, it's a neck beard.
It was like a whole neck beard.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Rough stuff. But yeah, they're pretty cool looking, kind of funny looking, and yeah, that's all I got on my end.
Yeah, what's it called? About a week. Not. Man, I just had one of those tough. I don't know, man.
Talk to us, bro.
Yeah, I mean, or actually, you don't have to talk about here if you don't want to.
That's true.
You can always pause if you need.
Oh, are we losing Peter? Or is that your camera again?
I don't know. I think we could give him a minute and see if he comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause this real quick.
Yeah, boy had a moment, had to check out. But people haven't checked out. Will Smith and Chris Rock. What we would call the slap heard around the world. It's been the topic of conversation for the past every day. I think I've seen the clip close to 100 times, memed 1,000 times. Where were you guys when you saw it? And what was your first impression?
So I legit woke. No, it was late but Sunday night when it happened, and I see the Washington Commanders, or as I call them, the Manders, post something on their social media, on their Instagram, and it was of Will yelling. It was just like it was a meme, and talking about it was the shot with Will yelling and Lupita just chilling there so I don't know, it's just like a meme, but it has nothing to do with that. It just had something to do with social media and talking about draft picks and whatnot. And so then I thought nothing of it. I was like, oh, okay. And then I woke up. I saw it was Channel 4. I can't remember what it was, but they're talking about the slap. And I was like, wait, what? I'm just 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm just sitting there I'm watching the whole thing. And I'm like, this went down for real. And then part of me was thinking, it's probably staged. I mean, I don't know how many people watching these award shows anymore. It's especially nowadays where we're just we don't, at least in my opinion, I really just don't care about the award shows anymore. But so I thought, do something to boost the ratings a little bit. But yeah, I don't think he shouldn't have put his hands on Chris. Say, Chris had it coming. I'm thinking this, there's so many layers to this thing. For me, I most look at it from the comedy perspective. I feel if you at a comedy show, and these comedians get brought in to host, to do what they do best, comedy. And in comedy, you've ever been in a comedy show, especially if you sit up front and close to a comedian where they can see you, the chance of you getting roasted are pretty high, just because it's obvious, they're in your vicinity. So if you look a certain way, or, especially if you're heckling, they're going to come after you. And it's not, when it comes to comedy, it's not with ill intent. It's more just getting people to laugh. And I mean, one, they don't know your situation. So they're I don't think they're expected to, nor should they have to. If you go to a comedy show, expect, that's the culture. So you're jumping into the fire. Don't get mad if you get burned. I think with the whole, and a lot of a lot of the stuff I've been hearing, when it gets deeper and all this deeper stuff, a lot of it's oh, maybe this, maybe that. He could have been feeling this, could have been feeling that. We don't know. I got to the point where I was so into my house, I don't even know these people. They're so far from me. I don't know what goes on in their life. I don't know what to think. All I know is either what I see, and I analyze it from that. I could take all these different factors and whatnot, but it doesn't mean that that's what really went down, or that's the reason why it went down. The joke was, pretty lame. They're saying that, Chris didn't come up with it. It was one of the writers for the Academy. Either way, it was a lame joke. but I don't think it was slap worthy. And talking about, defending his woman, like from these sources, I don't know if it's true or not, but Chris was saying that he didn't even know she had alopecia. I didn't know. I thought she was rocking I thought she was just rocking it because that's Jada. Like she could rock it because she looked fantastic that night, And so I thought, oh, she just, shaved her head because she shaved her head. I didn't know about the whole alopecia thing. I don't keep up with her like that, so I wouldn't know. But so to me, if the joke felt harmless, I didn't see any ill intent there. And I know talk about 2016, but like I don't know. We can go deep into like Will talking about his insecurities and all the way back to his childhood and whatnot. We could go that far, but it's like, why? Like we also going based off assumptions and hearsay and all that different stuff. So I'm just kind of like, at this point, I'm over it. Like in the moment, it was like, what? But then, a lot of people just overanalyzing things or whatnot. I'm just like, all right.
What? I've
just been hearing just a lot of like overanalyzation of like the situation and all the behind, like, this traces this back to this moment and this back. And I'm just like, so I don't even care anymore, man. I don't even care. Like, I got my own stresses to worry about. It was interesting for a brief moment, but like 6 months from now, unless someone brings up Chris Rock or Will Smith, I ain't going to really remember it. Like, it's not going to affect me, at least. I'll probably remember it, but it's not going to really affect me. So that's where I stand with it.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way you do. I'm sorry, I'm getting feedback. Okay, it's probably just on my end. I was like, somebody else talking. I'll shut up.
I heard it for a second there too. I don't know what was happening, but you're good now.
Okay, yeah, because I don't have much to say on the topic. I thought it was interesting when I heard about it. I was literally not watching TV. I was, getting my coffee on Monday and listening to the news, and I'm like, oh, that was interesting, But I didn't really look much into it. So I was thinking more in the fact that sort of like where Chris Rock, did a documentary on just Black women and their hair, back in the early 2000s. So he has a particular stance on the subject. So I feel like when he made a insensitive comment, him being a joker as a comedian, as his platform, like I get it, that sort of thing. It wasn't to the right person, but it also feels like it was meant from a different, it came from a different place. So, with Will going through the whole, I'm not sure if it was cheating or like if it was something else.
Sorry to interrupt you. They haven't put they don't like to put context to that. So
yeah, see, that's the problem. You have like 2-3 children by each other. You should at least know you should at least have some type of relationship status. Even if it's not a ring or something, you gotta make something official, else he's not to be blended. But yeah. So he's coming from a very he's coming from a dark place too. So he just isn't in the mood for those types of things. So in my, purview of what I've seen, it seems like a reasonable response, but after I saw the video when he walked up on stage and, almost pimp slapped him, it made me sit here and think, hey, that was kind of cool. But, because he, fixed his collar and stuff, and then he just does a little swag walk off the stage. And I'm just like, how many people could have got away with that? But
he's probably the only one in that audience that could have did that.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Like
the way he walked off was hella.
It was just funny because all the news reports are sitting there talking about, oh, he ran up on stage, he did this and that. I'm like, no, he
didn't run. He walked.
Yeah, he did it very confidently, very slowly. He knew what he was doing when he, he's very intention with it. So, the Academy was trying to they're giving him some type of reprimand or disciplinary action, and I'm like, hey, it's the Grammys, nobody cares. Oscars.
He resigned.
Yeah, he resigned off the just recently. He resigned off today.
Yeah, see, it's just what was I getting at? Anyway, thanks for the new information. But it's just like, who cares, you know? And like compared to all the crazy stuff that's been happening in recent years, and there's still Kanye going up on stage and back in 2012, basically saying when upstaging Taylor Swift and saying how Beyonce deserved the reward, and I think that has a lot more magnitude than just getting slapped on stage, and partly due to what Kanye's been up to in the past couple of years, but yeah, I'm just going to wrap it up here, basically, and just say if Will had a larger personality, quote unquote, I think that would have been a lot more disciplinary action and things that would have been changed as we went forward.
True. Yeah, I mean, I've looked at this at a lot of different angles. And not just all, like the parody videos either. Which before I started, did y'all see that one where they had Marty the zebra get slapped by the Will Smith fish? I cried a little bit when I saw that.
His legs.
Chris, did you see the edit of the they put Frieza's face there?
Mm-hmm.
And then they had Will Smith as Goku, and then
For the SpongeBob one.
There's so many, man. There's so many. And I watched like all of them, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I like them all. All my content need to be that Will Smith slap. But yeah, like I was saying, I looked at this at a lot of different angles as to like like how this happened, why this happened, how this could have been, happened differently. And if I try to put myself in both their shoes, and I do kind of get why. I mean, I do get why. If I'm Will, in the sense that like my wife is sick, and I don't know how it's alopecia. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not exactly sure what this sickness is, but
it's a condition where your hair just doesn't grow back.
Yeah, it's an auto.
Well, actually, I did know that.
It's an autoimmune disease.
I think there was a Steeler who had that, if I remember correctly. But yeah, okay, so she's dealing with this, and like, to be fair, like, yeah, Chris Rock might not know, but let's just look at this from Will's perspective at first for this first part here. You hear this, your wife is dealing with this, and there's nothing really she can really do with it except deal with it for how she has been, I guess. Because, I'm sure they got plenty of money. They're doing all the medical stuff they can do to treat it or whatever. If there's a treatment for it, I'm sure she's getting it. And, she's probably, go ahead.
No, I was just curious to say, I don't think there actually is a treatment.
Treatment? Okay, so she's just...
treatments, but I don't think there is, right. You can actually recover.
Right. So she's just dealing with it with how she has to deal with it. It's probably going to be an ailment she has probably for the rest of her life then, or for however long the symptoms may last, for a prolonged period of time. And so she's probably, dealing with her own internal traumas with that, and he, her husband dealing with them. Will Smith being the media trained person he is, like when he hears a joke made during an award show, he knows the camera's probably going to be turned on him, so he's going to make that little laugh. He's Will Smith. Eventually, at some point, the camera is going to be on him, so he's probably laughing at every little joke, whether it's good or not. And like by the time like he probably came to the realization, like, oh, that was about my wife, he sees like her very big eye roll at it. Like it was not hidden at all. She was just like, ugh, like big eye roll. And he gets on his, I guess he gets on his soapbox or whatever you want to call it, and he's like, you know what? You're not going to do this to my wife after all the stuff she's been through. And he decides to march up there, plants his feet, pulls back and swings at this other fully grown man, and then walks back and then, yells at Custom saying, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Chris Rock backs off, say, I will. Now, before I go to Chris Rock part, ain't no grown man gonna walk up to me and smack me in my face like that. I'm not gonna do nothing. Granted, Chris Rock was right. I feel like he was right to do that because, like, you gotta remember, like he was working at that time. And we could say what we want to say about, he was a wimp, or he let that happen. He could have fought back, or he should have fought back. He was working. He was on the clock. He was trying to do his best at that time. And another thing is, like, he was probably shocked because, like, even if somebody came up there to yell at you or something, whatever, you don't necessarily expect them to smack you on international television.
Exactly.
That is not something you expect to happen. I don't care who you are. Don't nobody prepare you to get smacked on international television. And so, if I'm Chris and I don't know that all this is happening, and I make that joke, and yes, it's right for him to back off there, but I felt like, I don't know, I felt like maybe if she, and this is not even pointing towards Will here, like, I feel like it was wrong of him to make that joke for another reason. Like, why, like, if she was white and she came in with that short hair, and when she's not known for having short hair like that, does he still make that joke? Or do people assume that she was sick?
I think she definitely still make that joke, especially because G.I. Jane was white. I don't see why they wouldn't, though. I don't see why Chris wouldn't, though. That's what I'm guessing. Like, actually, no, never mind. Continue.
No, it's just like whenever at least from what I've observed, whenever, like, people make comments about, like, women's hair, it's usually Black women's hair. And Chris Rock, who's somebody who's done a documentary on hair, he knows how important that is in the Black community. And he, granted, it might not have been his joke, like y'all was saying. It might have been like one of the writers or somebody in his ear saying, make a joke about that. What'd you say?
Not to interrupt you, but Will Packer just did an interview, and he said Chris Rock freestyled that.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so that's all him. That was all him. So no excuse on that part. But I don't know necessarily if he makes that joke if she's white. And granted, you're right. He might make that joke, but at least from my observations, usually when people making jokes about hair, is usually towards like Black people. Usually, from what I've seen.
I think, sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Not to interrupt you, Chris. I just think, from a societal standpoint, Black women have struggled with their hair. Black women are prone not to get hired because of their hair. Black women have had a more historical thing with their hair to fit in, to have white, like, not to say white people's hair, but like to have the straight hair. And that's a thing where, like, their identity in this culture, they struggle with it. Right? So when you say the thing about, is it a thing to make fun of a white person's hair? Like, I know people make fun of people that have dreads and cornrows. I've never heard a joke about
white people with dreads.
No, I hear it all the time, dude.
They're like a white mohawk.
Yeah, but that's when they try to come to art. But that's when they try to come to. Yeah, but that's when but that's cultural appropriating. That's different. We're talking about, like, your natural hair. No one makes fun of white people's natural hair.
I've never.
What's
never heard of black. What's the word? I've heard people wanted to touch, like, especially Black women's hair, and I've seen it in person, and I died laughing. I had to tell the person, "Yo, you don't like." That's one thing I don't do. I never ask women's pregnant. I never touch a Black woman's hair. That's like rule, like straight up rules. I can understand that. I don't think I've ever heard of someone. I'm talking about me personally. Just from my experience, make someone from natural hair. Not if they have a hairstyle or hairdo that's out of the norm. Well, not what's out of the norm then. If that's the case. Like I said, like a mohawk is out of the norm. I've heard people make fun of dude for like having just insane mohawk. Because
are you talking white women or are you talking white folks?
I'm not talking.
There's still a level of appropriation that has to be, within the culture. That's just with everybody. It doesn't matter if you're Black, white, or Asian. Hair is still an identifier of, just what it is to be a woman, So I doubt.
As a woman, yes.
Yeah. No, and I've definitely heard of stories where people have, like, maybe either braided or locked hair or like locks or anything. They'd be like, can you do something? And they'll be in like a job interview and they'd be like, can you do something about the hair situation, or can you cut it, or can you straighten it, or something like that, or can you hide it? but if somebody would walk in with a mohawk, then they probably are more so asking for, because that's a more so of a haircut than a hairstyle. I mean, if that makes sense.
Or aren't dreads then?
Yeah, dreads on a haircut.
Well, their style though.
No, but that can also be a part of somebody's culture. If your mohawk is a part of your culture, then you could probably like, talk to them about that, as opposed to like, just coming in with the mohawk and just be like having it spiked up or whatever. Like, was like, I don't know.
Well, I feel like
if
we're getting to culture, then like all these black people with dreads, are they Rastas?
No, but they might be Islander. They might be Islander with Rasta.
But that's when I'm like, okay, are you getting it for the style, or are you getting it for the...
Not to interrupt, but like the Rastafarian, the cornrows, that's part of black culture. And that's in many cultures. That's in Africa, that's in Caribbean, that's in African American. That's just black culture. African, like that's just in black African culture. So
I mean, probably like, yeah, well, now more so, but that's just because the world has changed. But I'm like, looking from history, you want the history book at it, like dreads were common with all different kinds of cultures, not just the black. It faded away from the other cultures, and it's more relevant in the black culture now. But it's not, it hasn't been always exclusive to the black culture.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you, Chris. Go on with your
sorry. No, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have no idea what point I was talking about at this point. I completely forgot.
You were talking
You're trying
about
to make the connection.
You were talking about Chris Rock's point of view.
Yeah.
What did I say?
You were going to make the connection between social deviancy with a mohawk and coming into like a workplace with a white collar, and them denying them the job versus the cultural aspect.
Oh, that sounds smart.
Yeah,
good job,
but I think you were saying something about Chris Rock. Would Chris Rock make fun of a white person's hair? That's what you were saying, and then I just I intersected there. But I think you were talking I think you were trying to talk about Chris Rock's point of view.
Okay. I think I could pick it from there. I'm not exactly sure what point I was making or where I left off, but I'll try my best.
All right. My bad, Chris.
No, you're good. You're good, because you made some good. We had a good conversation there. But I feel like typically when at least when we see like a white woman, I really don't know where I left off with this, y'all. Okay, no, I think I know. Yeah, okay. I feel like if it was a white woman instead of Jada there, and that's black, they might be like, oh, perhaps maybe she's sick or something, or maybe she's even overlooked because or who's a famous white actress? I don't.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Paltrow.
Jennifer Roberts. Wait.
Who's Angelina Jolie? Because I can see her with a bald head.
Do you think that joke is still made if it's her?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't see why not, though. I don't see why not.
I just felt like he felt more comfortable coming after.
Here's the thing. I don't know. Like, I don't. And this is just me, my personal opinion. Our culture. If you watch sitcoms, and I'm not trying to take sides. If you watch sitcoms, you watch this black culture, we joan on each other, right? And we always go at a sister's hair, whether it's her weave, whether it's her edges. Dudes do that all the time. I don't know if I've ever heard of a black comedian or anyone, like even white people clown white people. This is me. I've never heard that. So I don't know if he'd made that joke. Maybe he would have, because the G.I. Jane girl, she's white. So maybe he would have. I don't know, but that's not something I've heard of.
Well, I've never heard of someone joining on someone like a woman because they're bald. As a matter of fact, I've seen more black women
definitely have. They be
bald
calling girls bald headed all the time.
Yeah, they heard it's the plunger joke, right? Like, I know you all have.
I've actually for me I've seen far more black women who were bald, or even just like a close shaved head, than like white women bald. You know what I'm saying? So I felt as though it was more accepted in the black culture, especially as a black woman, to have a bald head. So I don't understand why, you know, for me, I like to joke about at anything. I like to find the funny in anything. I don't think that I don't really find anything super sacred or super off limits. But also like the joke's gotta be funny too. For me, the biggest crime, the joke wasn't that funny. It was more like
I think but to be fair, I also feel like you like, even if you don't find anything necessarily sacred, I feel like align with people too. Yeah. Like you wouldn't try to push nobody's buttons to a degree.
But if I knew the person, if I didn't know the person, then that's different.
Right.
If I knew the person and I knew their history, I knew then that's completely different. Like, y'all know stuff about me that y'all probably wouldn't clown about. I know stuff about y'all that I wouldn't clown about, because I know y'all. Y'all are my boys.
Y'all clown for getting slapped by the girl all the time, but continue. Because it
wasn't the slap. It was the glasses, man.
It was the glasses.
Came in looking like a cartoon.
Bro, you can't. Yeah, that's how you came with your glasses like that. If you left your glasses alone, it wasn't even getting that funny.
See, it like we weren't. Our intent was to laugh at the fact you got slapped by a girl. It was just the fact, like, it's just the imagery that you created when you came in with your slits and glasses, and that's so like for me. Like, I feel like you should be able to joke about a black woman's hair. I don't see, because you said like, oh, brothers can joke about like the black woman's hair. I don't see, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, this is me not knowing anything about what had like prior to the video. Like, watching the video, I did not see anything wrong with joking about her head. She looked fantastic. She didn't look crazy. She didn't look wacky. It was a subtle joke. Oh, can't wait to see in G.I. Jane 2, or something like that. It wasn't, derogatory. I didn't feel that.
Okay.
Now, if you want to include all the different layers, black women's culture, history, whatnot, okay. But initial watching, none of that was ever brought up. All they said was, can't wait to see G.I. Jane 2. And she felt disgusted. As she was laughing, would we have an issue? If she was laughing about the joke, would we have an issue with it?
But that's the thing, Gerard. She wasn't.
Okay, then that's okay. I'll never tell anyone how to react to a joke. At the same time, like, well, hold on. She said something about.
Gerard, hold that thought, because I want to get to that.
Okay.
In the next, because there's another side. I just want Chris to finish this part, and I'll get into
it. I really don't even know what I was talking about this time.
I know we keep having. I think you were just trying to talk about, because you talked about Will's point of view of how he would have approached, why he would approach Chris Rock. I think now you're trying to explain Chris Rock's point of view.
Okay, how deep was I? Was I already talking about what Chris was doing?
No, you just talked about the hair part. I think now you're going to Chris Rock's part. You can start with that. Just start with that.
Okay. I'm gonna just.
We'll get to the hair part.
I start for the hair. I'm done with that now. I'm just go for Chris.
Yeah.
If I'm Chris, personally, I don't. Y'all know I don't really do roasting or anything. But I guess if you're gonna do quote unquote crowd work at a live event, probably and you're in an event full of celebrities. You imagine everybody's going to be taking this lightheartedly, supposedly, to a degree anyway. And you're probably going to pick on targets that you know relatively well, or at least you're acquainted with, supposedly. And so he probably thought it was safe to pick her because he probably either done it in the past, or he's just slightly acquainted with her, but he might not have known her situation, which clearly he didn't. I think he stated he didn't know she was sick. Now, Yeah, I'm really losing train of thought. Maybe I don't know whether it's the time of night or if I've lost the train of thought that I was working with already. I don't know. I'm really just trying. Everything I'm saying. I'm just trying to piece together what I think I was thinking.
What I think I was thinking.
What I think I was thinking, bro. Because I don't remember. I'm tunnel vision when I'm there. Okay. I'm there, but then when I'm broken off, I'm just like I didn't know there was an exit here.
You want to keep going or?
We can. I don't know if I'm getting anywhere with this explanation anymore. Am I making coherent sense? If not,
yeah, I get what you're saying with Chris Rock. Should I take it from here if you want me to?
Okay, I'll just end it by saying I don't know if I necessarily I'm not necessarily mad at the joke or mad at the mad at his reaction to it. But yeah, I definitely felt like that whole entire situation could be held better. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm forgetting everything. I felt like I had a better explanation going on, and I forgot everything.
It's straight. Yeah, I'll go next. First of all, I want to say peace to Chris Rock and Will Smith. I'm not gonna take a side here. Before I start, I think people taking sides and condemning is not helping. I think when you see two people, especially icons like them, and a situation like this happens, I think more we should console. As a guy like Will Smith, I've never seen him do that before. If it's a guy like Kanye West, I remember Avery, you were telling me I should feel bad for the dude.
I didn't say all that.
I mean, you said you were just saying like
about Kanye.
No, you said I think you said something about like how Kanye's been, and like if it's Kanye that did that, I probably wouldn't care. But Will Smith, it's like what's going on over there? You know, I'm just I really just want to wonder like what's going on over there, and I understand where Will, because when I first initially saw it, I was watching it. I actually was on the phone with somebody when it happened, and then I saw his speech. But when I saw it, I initially had the thought of, I get comedians make jokes. I'm one of the people, like you said earlier, I've made jokes about certain people. And the initial, when you're making a joke, you're trying to laugh. It's never personal. It's never in no ill intent. It's just to laugh. If it's not to laugh, then it's there. But I think he was trying to make people laugh. That I think isn't. I'll be fair to Chris Rock. I think that was his intent. However, I look at Will Smith and see everything that he's been dealing with the August Alsina's thing, where August decides to just put him and Jada had business out there. Then he comes on the Red Table Talk. A lot of men, first of all, a lot of men wouldn't have been able to sit down with their wife and have that conversation. So I have to give him, huh?
I said, hell no.
A lot of men wouldn't have did that. So I have to give him props for that. He had to sit there and hear about, and Jada said an entanglement or whatever, and he has to take that. And then a lot of people don't know, and they'll be saying, "Oh, how did Will let They were separated." They said they were separated. So like, should we really? Are we really gonna make fun of him because he's separated from his wife and his wife decided to deal with a foolish R&B singer? That's not on him. So he has to deal with that and those jokes.
I'll agree with that.
Huh?
I'll agree with that. But continue.
He has to deal with these jokes constantly. He's on the red carpet the other day, and a lady's jokingly saying entanglement, and you could tell when he's laughed, it was an uncomfortable laugh. He has to constantly deal with this. Then he has to deal with people talking about his kids. Then he has to deal with his wife being sick and going through that with his wife. His wife is losing her hair. And I'm not the one to judge, but everybody has a breaking point. And now to see him slap, I'll say this. Well, you shouldn't have slapped him because that's an assault charge.
Mm-hmm.
He's not suing, so
No,
Yeah.
he's not.
Yeah, that's an assault charge. You shouldn't have did that. Listen. Everybody has their breaking point, but slapping the brother is not it. But I want to know what got Will to that point. And seeing the conversation after on Will's point of view, I understand why he snapped. You have people saying, "Oh, why you ain't do that to August?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you slapped Chris Rock because you thought he was smaller than you. Like, why'd you pick him to do that to? Oh, you want to do that? You soft, you this, you that. People are attacking him instead of like, yo, dog, what's wrong? And then you wondered why he snapped. God forbid something happened to him tomorrow, you be saying rest in peace. Well, I love Will Smith, right? The next, like, that's society, right? We push people into something until something bad happens. And then on Chris Rock's part, he didn't deserve to get slapped like that. And I get jokes, but I always say there's a line with jokes. Somebody's wife and kid, be careful. People don't play about their wife and kids. I'm always saying tread lightly. People tread lightly with that, but the intent wasn't to hurt. So I get it. But then I look at Chris Rock and I'm like, now the conversations about, oh, Chris Rock should have did something to him, or Chris Rock this and that. And I'm like, why aren't y'all asking him about how he feels, what he's going through? Yo, Chris Rock, are you good? Instead, you want to bash Will and you want to say he should have did something. It's never about consoling or giving people grace. It's about condemning and taking sides. So, like, from Chris Rock's point of view, like, he's been bullied as a child. Like, I showed you the other video where he said he was bullied as a kid, mm-hmm. and he had to deal with a lot. Him getting slapped could have, like, triggered a lot of his stuff that happened to him back in the day. Like, that could have triggered him. So for me, I'm not gonna take it from the toxic point of view of what another man should do to another man and how we should violate another man, because it doesn't solve anything.
It solves nothing.
It solves nothing. You talking about Jada really in love with Tupac? Another man hear that, they're going, why would you say that?
That's wild.
Like, why are people taking these toxic point of views, and then when people snap, we be like, oh, dang. And then we judge. So my point I know I said a lot, but I just think we should give Will grace. He's never done anything like this before. He should be punished because you don't slap people. That's not the example you want to put out there. But give him that grace because he's been through a lot. Listen, the stuff he went through, I couldn't handle it. I don't know if any of us could handle it. So the fact that he's sitting there in the award show and showing fake laughing or whatever, please just give the man grace. And for Chris Rock, please check up on him, see if he's good, have healthy convos. Because the convos we're having about this as black men, I'm disappointed. That's all I got to say. I'm just disappointed.
As far as we're concerned, they both are getting something out of this whole arrangement. Chris is currently on tour. He's literally sold out his last show out in, I forget where he's at, but that came up during the whole conversation about the slap. Mm-hmm. He plays it off, but he's still got all these tickets and stuff, more money for him because when's the last time he's been out? And then what's his face? Will has a movie. He's got an Oscar now, and he recently came out with a book. And if you
not to mention, people going to stop saying he's soft.
Yeah, and and if you looked at the way he did it, it was just very theatrical. He wasn't trying to hurt him. The whole fact he was doing a wind up as far as he can showed there wasn't any power in this slap. It was just more for shock and awe.
He did plants though. He did
plants, but anybody who gets smacked open hand is going to make a sound that resonates. Mm-hmm. So what I'm getting at is like no one really cares what the person's going through. Is the fact that they did it. When you show up in court for an assault charge, they don't, your peers aren't going to sit there and ask like why you, tap somebody with your car because you were late to get to work and your breakfast came out, burnt or something. Like, that's not what's being discussed here. Is the fact that you decided to be immature and act on your impulse. And that's what's in trouble. Like, that's my only, rebuttal, if you will. I totally hear where you're coming from.
I get where you're coming from, maybe, and I'm not trying to even rebuttal you, but what you're saying there, right? Where you said he would, what's it called? We could have, like, going to court and all that. We could avoid all of that if we really have real conversations with people and we check in on people. I'm just saying we could avoid all of that. This wouldn't have happened if we have real conversations.
Yeah,
instead of these toxic stuff.
That's not the point I was getting at. It's just that they're not trying to have these conversations because it sells.
And that's what's
like,
wrong with
would
society.
any of these actors and comedians even be relevant if they did not create waves every now and then?
Fair point. Very fair point.
Peter, you're talking about you don't make fun of someone's wife and kids. I'd agree with you.
Sorry if I'm a little tricky. Sorry about that again. But we'll be moving on. So I think a couple of months ago, me and Chris had the conversation about a line in comedy, and with what happened at the Oscars, it's relevant to ask again. I'll go first because I've kind of changed my tune a little bit. Months ago when me and Chris had this, it was very intense. It was kind of we didn't see the conversation going the way it did, but it just went there. But I think my take was we can't keep putting lines in comedy because it's about the laughs and the jokes. But as more people get offended and more people are feeling away, because I forgot what Calvin was talking about offending people, right?
Yeah.
I feel like now, and for me, the way I saw Will Smith scream at Chris Rock and the pain in his face, I'm a little more welcome into the conversation. Because at the end of the day, we're joking. People are joking. I'm a guy, I've done a lot of jokes. But my intent is never to hurt people. And if I have seen that it does hurt somebody, I need to tread lightly and re-examine how I joke. You guys can take it from there if you have your opinions.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go ahead and start. And you guys already know my opinion on this. Me and Peter talked about it for it was supposed to be a 5-minute conversation. It'll be 30, 45 minutes. But my stance hasn't changed at all. I'm still yes, there should be a line. And I'm going to keep it simple, mostly because let's say comedians are businessmen or entrepreneurs, let's say that. And they're producing a product. They're making a product. And their comedy is their product. And after a while, people really like this product. But after time goes on, people's tastes change. They don't want this product anymore. They want something else. This product is too harsh on their palates right now. They cannot handle this product anymore for whatever reason. And though there's still some people.
I'm sorry. What are we doing? Are we eating chemicals here?
No. Well, McDonald's will have you eating chemical
products. I mean, you're not wrong.
You know what I'm saying? Just for my example here. 2
years old, but whatever. Anyway,
it could be Elmer's glue. I don't know. Whatever floats your boat. Or gum. Yeah. But whatever this product is, it would be edible or not. It doesn't fit your palate either, literally or figuratively anymore. And so people are deciding, I don't want this anymore. But you as an entrepreneur, you're I need to keep selling this product because that's how I make my money. Selling this product is how I make my money. And so you can't change the people, even though there's some people who still like that. You can't just cater to the few. You have to cater to the many because that's just how, money works, right? Granted, you can't, have your own podcast or whatever where you still, doing your own stuff here or whatever, or selling that product somewhere else. But you got to realize, you got to predicate to where the money resides and move towards that direction. And so if you're not moving towards that direction, you're losing money. And why would you purposely allow yourself to lose money when you know a way to move into a direction where I can still make this money? It only makes sense to me that way. If that makes sense to you, explain that like that. You're changing the product. Hence, in this situation, your comedy, your comedy styling, in order to continue to draw on customers. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
I get it. G, anything?
I think there's a line. Chris, to what you were saying, like pretty much like adapting to the customer. In this day and age, like I agree, but the problem is that, especially with the customer and with social media in general, the minority is always the loudest, and the minority can a lot of times be the most extreme.
That's fair. Yeah.
And so they try to pull the line. They try to move the line closer than what the average person thinks the line. So like, let's say the line is here. How are we doing this? Let's say the line is here. The average person believes, we don't mind moving the line over here. That's fine. But then the loud, extreme minority believes the line should be here. And they believe everyone should follow in line with this. Now, the average person doesn't really think that. They kind of hear, a lot of people are canceling this person because they said this kind of joke, or they're there's this. I guess the average person sees in their eyes, everyone else thinks that. A lot of other people online think that the line should be here. So you know what? I think move the line. A little bit over here, but not too far. So then comedian is still trying to accommodate to getting that, trying to meet that line. But I feel like, damn it, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
No, I mean, my example is kind of predicated on the comedian knowing their fan base.
Yeah. But the thing is the fan base, a lot of time, especially with comedy, I hear about the negative. I don't hear about the positive, this comedian said this joke. When everyone else is like, yeah, that's how it works. That's how, especially when it comes to the truth and how they approach it and whatnot. They're like, I'm so offended by this. Damn, what was I saying?
I think we're all saying pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Because my logic is infallible.
But I think that if we're talking about an actual legitimate line, I'll say this: when you talk about someone's wife and kids who are not in the spotlight and they're kept out of the spotlight deliberately, where some people you don't even know they're married, and they keep their private life, they keep their family and stuff away from the public, and they do that intentionally. Now there are others that bring that to the surface. They bring their kids into the limelight. They bring their significant other into limelight, whether male or female, and even that significant other plays a role. They're actively out in the limelight. They enjoy it too. I don't know. There's intent, but I also think about especially if you're in the limelight and you're actively talking about all these different things and you're making your personal life public. I don't think you should be shocked when you hear jokes. When you hear these things talk, I just you can feel upset, but
here's the
my
thing
is don't be surprised about it.
I agree with you from a certain standpoint, the Kardashians, right? Their whole thing is public.
Yeah. It's like I'm gonna be a hoe and I'm gonna monopolize it.
Yeah.
Except for Rob. Rob was the only one that couldn't handle the stuff, so he decided to dip.
So later down the line.
Huh?
Let me stop. I mean, we only got one dude that was gay in this thing. Like, okay, let me stop. Let me chill.
No, I agree with the Kardashians because some people are built for it. Some people are built to take on, and also we're assuming they're built for it. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot we don't know. We're also assuming.
Yeah, but, so like, I think for the Kardashians, it's kind of like free game, but then it is, but like someone like Khan, that's not a good example. Let me not even use that. That's a bad example. Okay, let's talk about the Smith family, right? They're somewhat open about their life, right?
Somewhat.
And I mean, Willow, yeah.
All of them, man. All of them. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, compared to the Kardashians.
I don't hear too much. Like, I don't hear about
the
mom's sex life. I personally don't hear about the mom's sex life. But I heard Jada and Willow talking about, they talk about sex and getting to the nitty gritty. So,
I got so like Will, right? His daughter, she's out there. His son is out there, and they live their personal lives in this public setting, right? And they do things, right? Will has to know that your kids are going to get clowned. But I would tread lightly from just anybody going up to Will Smith's face and making a joke to him. That's the only thing, like, I would say, like, you can say a joke about them because it's public. They're public figures. But I would still tread lightly because that's still his kid. He can feel away.
There was actually
you don't know him like that.
Like a year ago, actually, someone made a joke about some illogical plot hole in The Fresh Prince, and he found it really funny on Twitter. But he wrote back, "That was funny, but I'm still gonna block you though." So, yeah, he's probably just one of those people you don't tell jokes to.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
it's like you can't be. I don't know. You can't talk to them as if you know them and be making like those kind of jokes. But
exactly.
My thing is, that's if you're speaking, like talking to Will. But if you're speaking to one of them, like I don't, because that's I don't know, man. If you put I'm saying don't be shocked. Like I understand. Like you can feel upset, you can feel all these things, but like you can't be like, how did this happen? Like why would they say this? Why would they do? Like people are gonna be people, man. We all garbage as hell, and people on the internet gonna say some crazy ish they would never say in real life.
Not to come to their defense or to any public figure's defense. Although they live a public lifestyle, that doesn't give you, I feel like, people the right to like invade their public space.
I agree.
Or think they could, because like, you can say some jokes, right? You can say jokes, but like I've seen it in situations where like one dude tried to kiss Will Smith.
Oh yeah, the reporter.
Yeah, that was the first slap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they feel like you got to tread light. I would say like you can joke, but tread lightly, because if you call The Rock, and no one would do this, but if you call The Rock soft to his face, don't be surprised if he slaps your face into oblivion. Yeah, like I just say, like, know who you're like. Be careful. That's what I would say.
So that being said, I don't honestly see The Rock like popping off on people like that.
No, but
I definitely wouldn't want to try it. But I can't really see it happening.
Honestly, though,
he's supposed to be like very mean, but he's still supposed to be pretty sensible too, kind of nice.
Well, wouldn't that make him even more soft if he punched someone's face in for calling him soft? Because I feel like that's a cowardly move, man. Like here's The Rock.
Like,
you can.
What's his face? Ken Williams.
Walk away.
Oh,
huh?
No, it's just I think it's not his name. It's the cowboy guy from Night at the Museum, the blonde dude with Ben Stiller and all them.
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, Owen Wilson. I'm probably mixing up the actors.
Wow.
But, he was out with his daughter at some like party at that wasn't a party, it was a bar at Vegas, and somebody was trying to be buddy with him after recognizing the movie. You know, there's of course there's drinks and all this other stuff. You recognize the actor, you want to go ahead and talk to them. But no, I'm sorry, it was Zombieland guy, Tallahassee. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Anyhow, he winded up punching the guy, right? And of course, there wasn't. They didn't press charges or anything, but it was just like he punched the guy for coming after his daughter and kind of like insulted him after he told the guy to go away. And I know that was a very like long example just to basically say that I didn't find that he was like soft or weak or any of these other things because he tried diplomacy first or whatnot, and that didn't work because this guy's clearly drunk and he's trying to get a growl out of him.
Well, wait, who's drunk? The guy trying to get buddy with him?
Yeah, he's trying to get buddy with him, but he was also had a few drinks as well. But
I can understand him being like upset, but if he's drunk, I won't even entertain him. I won't even because he's not even all there. He's drunk. He's under the influence. He's not even all there. I'm not saying he's drunk an excuse to like do that kind of stuff, but like I won't even entertain it. I can't even have a logical conversation with this dude. So I walk away.
Yeah.
And like what I was saying with The Rock, like I was being literal. Like if someone said, "Yo, Rock, you soft as," and The Rock punches him, like, why?
I wouldn't say The Rock is soft. So okay, let me change it.
That's a cowardly move, though.
Say if it's Suge Knight, and someone went to him and said,
"He's soft."
Dude, you soft.
But that's still cowardly, though. Well, why do you feel like I'm saying like? Do you think you're soft?
No, but but I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right, and I think we're getting to another like toxic masculinity. But like, why would you even shut up? Don't don't.
I agree. It's just
because at the end of the day, and you're right that it could be looked at cowardly. You're testing another man's masculinity, and then he shows you.
Yeah, because that's all just the ego talking. You know what I'm saying? So like the dude, whoever, like the person calling them soft is in the wrong because it's like now you're just trying to get a reaction out of them, and you're trying to do these things deliberately. Especially if you got the camera's rolling because you're trying to get a reaction out of them, and then you get punched in the face. So it's like two wrongs don't make it right. That's what all I'm saying is like, it's the ego talking. So like when the ego like that gets people in trouble.
Yeah.
So the best case scenario, walk away. Now if he's putting his hands on you, free game. Choke that out. But like if he's just talking, you just walk away. And it's easier. It's so much easier said than done. Because I've had like, I got. I'll tell you off air. But there are moments where I'm like,
yeah,
this dude said something. I'm beating him to a pulp. But, huh? What'd you say?
I think he's talking about me when we first met.
Yeah, never mind.
That is a perfect example of the ego. Because I could have just ignored it, walked away, but my ego said, no, you must kill him. And that's what I'm talking about.
And you're speaking of ego, right? Men, we have ego.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to kill that to protect Black women. Yes. we have to kill our ego sometimes to protect our woman. Because we'll have to tread lightly on this topic because for the sake of time, but a lot of conversation has been about protecting Black women because of what Will stood for in that situation with Chris Rock. So, what do you feel about just like protecting Black women in that instance, and just in general? Anyone want to go first, or should I go? Or
I can go first.
Try to sum it up, please.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Not trying to be rude, but like just for sake.
Just the summary.
Yeah, just like a 2-sentence paragraph, maybe.
You want to go, Chris?
Oh! We should do it in 2-sentence paragraphs.
Yeah. Sake of time.
General stance and
okay, well, of course I'm for it. Protecting Black women, but in that instance, I don't necessarily think that Will was like wrong or anything, in the sense that he wanted, like in the feeling that he wanted to feel like he needed to protect his wife, but definitely went about the wrong way of doing it. But I do feel like he was correct in feeling like he needed to confront Chris about his wife in that situation. Granted, probably should have done like behind the scenes or something, or during a commercial break. Yeah. But again, I don't necessarily feel like he was wrong, just went about it the wrong way.
Yeah, I agree with the sentiment. I think his intent was to definitely protect his wife.
Thank you. That's better said.
Yeah, his intent was to protect his wife, and I do think as Black men we should do that more often. But slapping another man on public TV,
international
TV, where everyone can see you, where everyone basically saw assault, battery. I don't think that's the right way. But the sentiment of it, I agree. I think we should be protecting our Black women more often. But Gerard, Avery,
I literally have nothing to disagree with. I mean, I feel like it's a given. I don't know why it's not a given, but like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't have any rebuttal to this at all.
Ave?
Totally in agreement. Don't really have much to say on this. Just as roles as here we go with that old world thinking, of course, toxic masculinity, right? Just as the male, you're supposed to be able to protect and provide, and to some extent, I still do believe that should be upheld.
Okay.
Oh, real quick, just drop back to where cause I never said where I first saw it at, the slap, but I saw it on Instagram, I think Monday morning, but I saw it with the Japanese broadcast of it somehow. So I was back confused. I'm like, why are they narrating what they're saying in Japanese? And then I just hear a slap, and then she's like narrating what happened.
Ohayou gozaimashita.
Yeah.
Were you watching the game show or something? If that makes it even like greater.
No, I was just scrolling on Instagram Monday morning, and it just I don't look up any Japanese broadcasting or anything like that, but it came up, and it was just like it's wild that you've seen this is the first time you've seen this, and it's in Japanese. That's what the caption said.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to jump back to that real quick.
Yeah, but yeah, I think we discussed a lot on just the situation. I'm kind of mad that this is the topic. Has to be the genesis of it, because Will Smith himself won an Oscar for King Richard. Mm-hmm. Questlove won an Oscar for the documentary he did. I think it was, I forgot the name of it because I've seen it on Hulu a couple of times. I just never watched it. It was the summer of the 70s or something like that. I think Marvin, it's based on the 70s and 70s artists. He won a...
Oh, okay. I didn't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I forgot the name of it.
I haven't seen that, but I know what you're talking about.
But Questlove got one, which is dope, from the Roots. Samuel L. Jackson got an honorary Oscar from Denzel Washington. Well, awarded to him by Denzel Washington. So it's good. It's good to see, even though that had to happen, that Black people are getting recognized for their magnificent performances. Flashback to 6 years later, when we're saying Oscars so white, the Oscars is being, because I think Will Packer produced it.
Yeah.
Will Packer produced it. and had, I think, Chris Rock, Amy Schumer, Regina Hall, and Wanda Sykes host it. Just to have a diverse lineup of people having different varieties of people win in different categories was just ill. But any thoughts on just the winners and if they deserved it or not? Or
I didn't see any of them. I legit just saw this. I looked at, like, when I tell you,
for me, I'm just happy that Will, even though whatever happened, I'm happy Will won the Oscar for King Richard. I think it's been well overdue. I think he's had a lot of classic. Should have won one from I Am Legend, crying out loud. But
wait, so hold on, before we move on, Samuel L. Jackson never had one before this honorary one?
No.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, they did a whole documentary on his life, and they were just talking about how this guy's literally been everything. He's literally the go-to actor for, those general run-of-the-mill, I need a bad guy for this position. Who am I going to call? You could call Samuel Jackson back in, pre-2000s.
Call him and he's going to drop one MFer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been in like a bunch of iconic roles. I'm surprised he doesn't have one.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Probably because, no, never mind.
Right. Shout out to the winners. I'm sorry that the episode had to be about something negative that happened with two Black people, but we had to cover it and give our opinions. And hopefully next week we have more positive things to talk about. Yeah, so I think that's about it for the show, unless anybody wants to say anything to close.
Shaba.
No, all I got to say is, actually, no, I don't have nothing to say. I'm sorry. I really keep blanking out. From that first one to now, I just keep blanking out. I'd be like, yeah, I do got something to say. And then like 1 second later, no, I don't. I gotta say nothing. Oh man.
Yeah. I think that's it for the show. You can subscribe, like, comment, be on YouTube at 3:15 Monday. At 12 midnight Eastern time on all podcasts and platforms. Give us a review on that too. Please engage, especially with the comments and likes. We need that. Share as many places as possible. Follow us at the Out of the Berg on IG, Out of the Berg Pod on Twitter. My personal handle is at Kofi Pita. The Pita is spelled Pita, and at Pita Kofi on Twitter. Chris?
You can catch me on Twitter at BigChris_57 and IG at Everybody Loves Chris.
Rod.
You can find me on Instagram, as you kids call it, at Geronimo B28. That is Geronimo B28. Yeah.
Oh, I'm next. I'm sorry, I can't do any funny voices, but you can find me, Avery, at Avery Koopa, capital K-O-O-P-A on IG. And lastly, everything at Twitter, I think. Don't quote me, I'm sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, that's it for the show. Stay Black, stay woke, stay intelligent. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Out of the Berg podcast. We're available on all podcasting platforms, and we ask that you like, comment, share, and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever we release a new video. And as always, we like you, we love you, but we gotta go. Bye.